The Wheeling Plan Commission meeting for Thursday, March 24th is called to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, Mr. Secretary.
Commissioner Dorbman.
I'm here.
Commissioner Johnson.
Here.
Commissioner Powers, I'm here. Commissioner Sianis.
Here.
Chairman Rafato.
Here.
Commissioner Sack and Commissioner Zangar are absent with prior notice.
Brooke, any changes to the agenda?
No changes.
Okay, great. Citizens' concerns and comments. Is anybody on there? Terry, are you citizens' concerns? Please come up. Please state your name and your address.
Terry Stalin, 473 Briarwood Drive, Wheeling, Illinois.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. I saw on the Wheeling website that you guys were responsible for signs. So I have a sign problem for you that maybe you can solve. I happened to be in the post office last week. There were about 10 people in line. And so a woman came in the door and said out loud, "Can somebody please help me? I'm looking for the Wheeling Village Hall. It's supposed to be on Dundee Road. I've gone up and down the road a number of times. I cannot find it." And all of the 10 people turned around and said, "It's right there across the street. You can't miss it." She said, "I looked. I'll go trying to find it again." So, she left. And on my way out of the post office, I thought, geez, let me see. I see this nice monument sign across the street that says Village Police Department, a nice big wooden sign. And here's a nice blue sign that says Wheeling Police Department to turn left down Community Drive. But nowhere is there a sign that says Wheeling Village Hall. The Wheeling Village Hall sign is on this side of the building over the front door. And if you were driving down Dundee Road, you wouldn't be able to see it. So you guys are the sign guys. Maybe you could do something about that in the future. The other thing is the library is holding a sale for a lot of its used furniture and equipment on April 2nd. The benefits of the sale of that equipment will go to the Library Foundation to hopefully buy new things for the library. That's April 2nd. I think it starts 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning, whatever time Don happens to get there. It lasts all day, and from what I hear, they've got some really nice green chairs that everybody seems to like. So if you're interested in one of those green chairs, I'd get there early and probably get in line because they'll probably go fast. So thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate the time to comment.
You're welcome. Thank you. Is it only April 2nd?
Pardon?
It's just one day?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
That's also the groundbreaking for the new building. I think that's at like 11 maybe. I'm not positive though. Should be on their website.
Going to be there.
April 2nd?
Yes.
Consent items, SCBA 16-05, Target CVS 1400 Lake Cook Road, appearance approval of a wall sign. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion was made by Commissioner Dorbman, second by Commissioner Johnson. Mr. Secretary?
Commissioner Dorbman.
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson.
Yes.
Commissioner Powers, I vote yes. Commissioner Sianis.
Yes.
Chairman Rafato.
Yes.
I noticed inside the store they've already changed some of the signage and have the new logo covered up right now, but so I guess they're going to do this quickly.
Cool. It's an interesting concept. I don't see why it wouldn't work. Somebody else manages the pharmacy for them. Items for review, docket number 2016-6, Village of Wheeling, text amendment to Title 19 zoning and Title 4 taxes business regulations and licenses related to massage establishments. Mr. Secretary?
Docket number 2016-4, Village of Wheeling is initiating a temporary 9-month moratorium with regards to the consideration of zoning applications or the issuance of business licenses for massage establishments, during which period the village intends to research and adopt amendments to Title IV taxes, business regulations and licenses, and Title 19 zoning. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Brooke, anything to add?
Sure. I'd like to introduce this. On tonight's agenda, we have an item to address the moratorium of massage establishments. Some recent trends in this type of business have given us some cause for concern. These trends include, internet advertising, the use of many private rooms, and massage therapy as the primary service offered. Current zoning regulations for these types of establishments state that they are defined as a type of personal service establishment that's like a spa, a day spa, or hair salon. They are permitted in all commercial and most mixed-use districts. And our Title IV licensing also addresses this type of use. And so staff is proposing a 6-month moratorium on massage establishments. We would temporarily suspend development approvals for all these types of uses. This would give us time to consider, draft, and adopt zoning and other code amendments as needed. And this would allow for existing legally established businesses to continue operation. I'd just like to stress that there are no code amendments proposed at this time. We are merely proposing a 6-month moratorium on massage establishments. Do you have any questions? Or Mallory, is there anything to add?
I was just gonna, the reason why it's here before you is a moratorium is a zoning amendment. It imposes a temporary suspends the rights of property owners to obtain licenses or anything from the village during that time. So that's why it has to go through the public hearing process. And then the purpose of it, as Brooke said, was to review and consider amendments to the code relating to massage establishments.
May I ask, how many do we have now that are in question, or are they in question?
None of the current ones that would be currently operating are in question. It's just considering future applications and licenses and how the village wants to treat them, what they want to make it a special use, if they want to allow it permitted in only certain zones, and so considering those regulations.
And then how would that change how they are inspected or reviewed, or would that all change then?
That may change as well, not through our zoning code, but through the Title IV licensing code.
So the licensing would be, is it possible it would be more stringent so that there would be more inspections going in?
That is possible.
Is that, okay, thank you.
And then, and so with the 6-month moratorium, my assumption is that probably based upon our schedules, you're probably looking at 4 months down the road, or pushing it at 5 months down the road, coming to us with possible code amendment changes, and then giving us a month for review?
No, we're thinking we can handle this very quickly. We already have a couple ideas, and we would like to set up a hearing possibly in a month, maybe 6 weeks out.
Oh, okay. So,
The 6 months just gives us a buffer time, and we can always rescind the moratorium if we have it all worked out earlier.
That's a maximum 6 months.
Would any changes that would reflect everybody who currently has a license now, so they would be notified then? I mean, that there are, if there are any changes, or how does that work then?
Like a grandfathering
Right.
issue, type of issue?
Well, would they become legal non-conforming?
They would be, if, like, depending on what the changes are. So obviously, if there's licensing changes or inspections and going forward, they would be subject to those. But to the extent the code reflects a change in the zoning code as far as either then the use table, where that they're allowed, or if they become a special use, they would become legal non-conforming.
Okay.
So anytime they could, legal non-conforming means that they can stay in that,
Yes.
stay that way, but if any types of changes, then they would have to conform to the existing codes.
Right.
Okay. Interesting, I haven't, as long as I've been on the board, I've never had a moratorium, so, interesting. But it seems to be, based upon what you're talking about here, that it is an interesting concept. Speaking.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Pam.
Are people notified that these changes are coming about, or that there is a moratorium, and that they would be advised if they wanted to come to our meeting to hear about any possible changes? How does that work?
Well, it was published. This is a published public hearing, so anyone would be notified. I don't think we specifically notified those businesses, though.
So you don't actually send them a letter and say, this is what's coming down?
No, because it's more, this right now is for obviously future, and so we don't even know who those people could be.
Okay.
Obviously, if there's going to be changes to the existing code that would apply to existing massage establishments, staff can look at that to whether or not they need to be notified, but it might be part of the renewal letter. If
Okay.
any changes. But again, any changes to the zoning code will also be a published public hearing as well, and will be on the agenda for the.
And most of the time, an establishment like that would never come to us unless it was they wanted to go into a special use area where it was designated special use. But I think you said that
They are permitted
they're
uses right
permitted
now.
uses throughout all commercial
Correct.
Yeah, I wanted to, could you back up a slide?
and most mixed uses.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're probably looking at trying to possibly tighten that down a little bit, right?
Right.
Okay.
That's a good one. Any other questions? No? Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Powers, second by Commissioner Johnson. Mr. Secretary?
Commissioner Powers votes yes. Commissioner Johnson?
Yes.
Commissioner Doorman?
Yes.
Commissioner Sianis?
Yes.
Chairman Rafato?
Yes. Approval of minutes from March 10th, 2016.
So moved.
1 second. Brooke, I believe I sent you a note just on the page
The
numbering on
numbering,
that?
yes.
Okay,
Thank you.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Abstain?
Abstain.
You've got 3, 2. Okay. Other business? There's 3. Yeah, I don't think it would pass.
But you don't have to abstain just because you weren't here, just,
Really?
I mean.
You know
most
something,
people do.
I've heard 2 different things. Then I'll say yes.
As long as you reviewed them, you don't
Yeah,
have
as
to
long as you
abstain.
reviewed them and
Yeah,
approved them.
for some reason, and it was within the last year.
People do think that, and that's just tends to be the practice of it, but.
Okay, fine. Okay. Could you get some clarification on that for sure? Because I've heard 2 different things. And I thought we had to abstain.
I'll look into it.
Okay, great. Other business, Brooke?
I have a couple of items. Andrew just texted me. A reminder to all.
Is he watching somewhere?
Yes.
Hi, Andrew.
Downstairs?
Always watching. A reminder that the Plan Commission will be recognized at the volunteer night at the board meeting on April 4th.
Yes. That's 1 week from Monday.
Correct. And also, you should have received from Cook County
Yep. Ethics, yeah.
an update on, I forgot.
Ethics statement?
Yes, a statement of
Of
economic
economic-
interest.
Yes.
I did mine.
SEI, yes.
Mine too.
If you could please complete that and.
Could you, I would assume that Adwell, because he is new, probably doesn't have the electronic. I'm not certain if he would have gotten the electronic one, because I thought there was something the first year that you might have had to have done it by paper.
I will double check.
Yeah, I got, it's my first time doing it as well, and I took care of it today online.
Okay. Oh, it's your first time too?
Yes.
Okay, cool, then he should be okay, but let's make sure that he did get that. Thanks, Andrew, wherever you're at.
Oh, Andrew.
Andrew,
That's all I have.
thank you. Commissioner Johnson,
I have nothing, thanks.
Commissioner Powers,
Nothing.
Commissioner Sianis,
Nothing?
Commissioner Dorban.
Nothing, thank you.
I just have one thing that I was thinking about as I was reading the agenda and reading on this moratorium. I've read recently where some villages have restricted vape stores and e-cigarette stores. Have we considered that at all?
The way we treat vaping right now is vape merchandise is like tobacco merchandise. And so if they're just selling those products, it's just retail. If they want to turn it into a vape lounge, then we tend to apply a limit of 12 people, and then it becomes a special use. And our threshold is 12 because that's what other similar assembly group defined uses are, like instructional and recreational facilities, like tutoring facilities, dance academies. 12 is our limit.
Okay.
And so we think that if they have more than 12 occupants, and that includes employees and clients or customers at one time, then that would trigger the special use. And obviously, if they serve food or alcohol, then it's a restaurant, special use.
But then if they're in a restaurant, can they use vape cigarettes? Or is that something that is, because you see vape usage all the time. But I can't recall if I've ever seen it in a restaurant. I'm sure that's
No.
probably something at the state level that would probably.
I'd have to look into seeing whether it's part of the Smoke-Free Illinois Act and whether it was amended to include e-cigarettes. Because no smoking in restaurants and stuff it's a state law.
Yeah, I thought it had been added.
Added?
Okay, I guess as long as we,
Wait, so, clarify. So vaping.
microphone.
Vaping would be acceptable in a scenario like that? I mean,
In which
you know,
scenario?
the smoke-free.
That's what we're
How
going
does
we're
that
not
work?
sure. We're not sure. Because I think what happened is we went down the path of, if they're serving food, it's a restaurant, and then you think, well, can they use vape e-cigarettes in a restaurant? And then I'm hearing that it's probably at a state level, they may have added e-cigarettes as a form of tobacco, and you can't use them
You
within a
can or
restaurant.
cannot?
Cannot, but we'd have to look.
Because it does give off aroma.
It does, right.
It's
Yeah.
it's not just water vapor.
No, yeah. I don't know.
I've never been exposed to them, so I don't know that,
Yeah.
I didn't
It's-
realize it gave off a.
Almost for that reason alone,
Yeah,
I
they're
feel
all-
like it's not allowed. Otherwise, we would have seen more of it. just-
They come in all different
Life.
flavors, I guess. and
Yeah.
Sort of
And
like pipe
I was just
tobacco.
exposed to them in the last 10 days. Somebody I knew was using one. I'd never seen one. You buy them at Walgreens, so they must be good for you if you can buy them at a drugstore.
Yeah, why is it they put the cigarettes in the front of the
Front,
store
sorry.
and the pharmacies in the back?
In the back of the
Hello.
store, exactly. Right, so, okay, well, thank you. That was my,
Yeah, on the subject of vaping, the one place that we approved the sign for, did they not on the sign say vape lounge or something? I mean,
It does.
We never really got into it.
They
other than
are
the sign.
allowed as a lounge with a maximum of 12 people.
Okay, but
currently.
that wasn't considered a special use?
No, they may be coming in for a special use
Oh,
to
okay.
expand their operations, but currently they're allowed as a vape lounge with a maximum of 12 people.
Oh, okay, thanks.
When they say vape lounge, it doesn't mean that they have food. It just
No.
means that they're,
Currently, they are not allowed to serve food or alcohol.
So would you equate that to a cigar bar?
Yeah. Very similar, yes.
Okay.
Could they bring their own liquor in?
I don't think we have a BYOB policy in the
In
village.
in the village? Okay.
Right. Yeah.
No.
I don't think we have a BYOB policy.
I'd have to look into that, but.
And that would be a different,
Yeah.
be a different thing, so. Well, that generated some good questions. Okay, great. Mallory, anything in other
Nothing.
business? Okay, great. Well, that's all I do I hear a motion to adjourn?
so moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye. Woo-hoo. You can put the water back.